Have you ever wondered how much power your thoughts actually hold over your life? It's a question that's worth pondering. Picture your mind as an artist's canvas, and your thoughts as the palette of colors. The hues you choose to paint with can drastically alter the overall masterpiece. This is the realm of negative thinking. It's a darker palette, with shades that can cast a shadow over our daily lives, influencing our mood, our decisions, and even our outlook on life. Negative thinking, like a persistent rain cloud, can pour over us, dampening our spirits and instilling a sense of gloom. It can sway our decisions, leading us to choose paths that are less fulfilling, less rewarding. It can alter our perception, causing us to view the world through a lens of pessimism and defeat. Negative thinking can be a heavy burden, but what if you could turn it all around? Let's travel into the life of James, a man who was once consumed by negative thinking. Picture a person whose mind was a stormy sea of pessimistic thoughts, where every wave was a new worry, a fresh doubt. That was James. James was a man just like any other. He woke up, went to work, and came home to his family. But unlike most, his every waking moment was dominated by a cascade of negativity. It was as though he wore a pair of glasses that only showed him the world's flaws. From his career to his relationships, everything was seen through a lens of negativity. His career was a constant uphill battle. He was intelligent and hardworking, but his negative mindset became a self-fulfilling prophecy. He doubted his abilities, feared failure, and as a result missed out on opportunities. His relationships suffered too. His constant pessimism strained his relationship with his family, friends, and colleagues. They began to drift away, unable to bear the weight of his relentless negativity. Then one day, James looked around him. He saw a life that was a mere shadow of what it could have been. He saw relationships that were hanging by a thread, a career that was stagnant, and a happiness that was always just out of reach. It was a moment of stark realization. He understood that his negative thinking was not just a habit, it was a destructive force that was eroding his life. So, he made a decision to change. He realized that he had the power to control his thoughts, to steer the ship of his mind away from the stormy sea of negativity. He began to challenge his negative thoughts, to question them, to replace them with positivity. He decided that he was no longer going to be a passenger in his life, but the captain. James decided he had had enough of the negativity. He was ready to turn the tides. And so James embarked on a journey to transform his negative thinking. Like a seasoned traveler preparing for a long voyage, James rolled up his sleeves and got to work. He started by acknowledging the power of negative thinking and its hold on his life. It was like a stubborn weed, deeply rooted and resistant to change, but he was determined to uproot it. The first step on his road to transformation was self-awareness. James had to recognize and understand his negative thoughts before he could change them. He started to observe his thoughts more closely, like an outsider looking in. He discovered patterns, triggers, and the recurring themes of his pessimistic mindset. Next came the challenge of confronting these negative thoughts head-on. It was as if James was in a boxing ring, going toe-to-toe with his biggest adversary himself. There were days when he felt like throwing in the towel, but he reminded himself of the prize at stake, his happiness. James then started to replace the negative with the positive. He began to cultivate a garden of positive thoughts in his mind, carefully nurturing each seed of optimism and hope. He started to see the world through a different lens, a lens tinted with positivity. This transformation wasn't an overnight miracle, it was a slow and steady process, like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. It required patience, persistence, and a whole lot of courage. As James started to think more positively, the changes in his life were remarkable. His relationships flourished as he became a more understanding and empathetic friend, partner, and colleague. His career took a turn for the better, as he started to approach challenges with a can-do attitude, and most importantly, he found a newfound sense of peace and contentment within himself. The transformation was like a sunrise after a long, dark night. It illuminated every corner of his life, casting away the shadows of negativity. James's life was never the same. He had successfully broken free from the chains of negative thinking. So, what can we learn from James's story? Well, the first major lesson is that negative thinking can be a powerful force that holds us back. It can keep us stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and fear, preventing us from achieving our true potential. But the good news is, we have the power to break this cycle. James taught us that the first step in overcoming negative thinking is to acknowledge it. Recognize the negative thoughts, but don't let them define you. Then replace them with positive affirmations. These positive thoughts can become a powerful force for change. And it's not just about thinking positively, it's about living positively too. Surround yourself with positivity in your environment, your relationships, and your activities. Every small positive change can make a big difference. And finally, remember, it's a journey. It may not happen overnight, but with persistence, you can transform your thinking and in turn, your life. Remember, the power of your thoughts is immense. Choose positivity and see your life transform.